Good morning, everyone. Who else slurps their coffee? It's freezing here in Paris. And you know what? When I came to check out the sublet, when it was like 60 degrees outside, maybe 55, she's like, "Yeah, we don't have access to turn on the heat yet because it's not that cold, so we won't probably turn it on until like January." And I was like, "Oh, that's fine. It's like nice out, no big deal, right?" Cut to it dropped like 30 degrees. Literally, it's gonna snow. I think it almost snowed. It is absolutely freezing. But here's the thing. I have this. This is mine. This is a heated blanket that I'm so grateful that I have it in my storage unit. I have a bunch of stuff in my storage unit. And I was like, well, I could just go get it. But still, it's freezing, like to walk around the apartment. Um, and when you get up, it's cold. Anyways, I wanted to just share. Um, every morning I get up and I journal. I've spoken about this many times, but I've recently, I'm on day like 17 where I'm doing this thing called the ritual. And it's from one of my teachers, Brie Melanson. I bought it a long time ago during the pandemic and I'm redoing it, which is just basically every morning I journal out these questions. They're journal prompts, right? And so I wanted to share today's because I thought maybe it might inspire you. Um, so here we go. And you can journal this out if you want. And I have to wear these glasses, as I mentioned. I turned 50 and I everything got really small. So these are readers. You should see my phone. My phone, I'm like an old person. Literally, it's got the biggest font possible. It's kind of embarrassing. Anyways, I'm not embarrassed. That's not true. Okay, so here's the question. What occurs when I see heaven or when I see earth as heaven? What do I see? What do I remember? How would it shift me? So, I mean, you can substitute heaven if that's not your thing with, um, what occurs when I see this life as my extraordinary life, the life of my dreams right now, right? And so I wrote, when I realize earth is actually our heaven, I recognize the beauty in the uncomfortable, the angels disguised as tormentors, the annoying inconveniences as the gods working within the mundane to help guide me towards my true loving self. When I see earth as heaven, I immediately relax with ease because I know that everything is here for me, including this cold apartment that has no heat. I'm able to have a sense of humor about it all because this is heaven, which means this is my extraordinary life. This is the life I have dreamed and manifested. All of this, and just look at this life I've created. Wealth to support my needs, sublets and cat sits to support my soul's desire for adventure, novelty, excitement, change, a healthy body that allows me to run around this city with ease, exploring other cultures, people, languages, and receiving the abundance of good fortune in ways that surprise and delight me, like unexpected checks in the mails, to tips from giving tours, and to people just sending me big chunks of money for being myself. All of this teaches me there is another way to see all of it, and that is to remember this is heaven. This is the life of my dreams. This is my jackpot lottery win. This is the love of my life. All of this is here right in front of me, inside of me, surrounding me. I remember I called all of this in, the quiet, especially, I can see now as a gift for moments to shift me back to remembrance, to sit within the space of all the chatter and flow like the river, like source, like our harmonic vibration. Sit in the silence, the quiet. It holds all the answers to all the questions I have ever thought to ask. Remember, the void is a gift. Keep sitting in it for however long I need to remember it all. And then I put, oh, when I see heaven right here now, I'm grateful for it all. The wonderful sleep where I didn't wake up once to pee. That is true. I've had this thing where every night I seem to have to get up to go to the bathroom. And it's so annoying because, like I mentioned, it's cold, but just in general, when you get up, you have to, you wake up, right? So getting back to sleep is always the challenge, which is, frustrating. So that's my what if heaven or earth is heaven. And I'm curious if you can look at a situation right now that is bothering you, that you feel frustrated by, or it's annoying. And if you can flip it and see how this is actually here for you, like if this is really heaven, what would that annoyance or that, you know, pain in your side, whatever it is, how can that be here for you? How is it serving you? How are you learning something? Um, because when you start to look at life that way, and you can't do it sometimes when you're really knee deep in the trenches of like contrast, like if you're really annoyed or really, and most likely you're not watching this video when you feel that way. But when you're in it, in that kind of emotional disturbance, if you will, it's not the time to ask or to see things differently, because you can't. You're just too colored by the anger or the rage or the sadness or whatever that emotional state that you're in. But when you're not there, it's the time to kind of flip things, to see things differently, higher. And then you just have to kind of stay with it. I mean, for me, I've created a muscle. I've created a muscle now where it's very easy for me to flip things. In fact, I flip things so much that sometimes I have to check in and go, am I feeling this, right? Is this how I really feel? Because the mind is so entrained to see it as something positive that sometimes I used to do this as a child. I think maybe we all did, but we coped in some way by either having an active imagination, or there was something that we did as children to flip whatever the scenario was that we didn't like into something positive. And we just naturally did it because in every moment, especially as children, all we were thinking about is how can I receive love? How can I receive safety? Right? So the thing that I've had to really unpack or unravel is allowing myself to feel upset or whatever the emotional state is fully, completely, because otherwise it gets stored. And then there's that disconnect between mind, body. And the body really is our truth teller because it's holding our emotional history, it's holding everything, right? It, a lot of times, we'll bypass a difficult emotion, a traumatic event. We won't even know that we absorbed it because the body takes it. And then later in life, we realize through diseases, through ailments, through skin rashes, whatever, etc., that our bodies were holding on to something that we weren't able to process yet, And I'm learning that how to process things more in the moment, um, by noticing the difference. Like when the mind is just like, yeah, we're fine, we're cool, versus, no, actually, that was disappointing. I'm going to feel into that disappointment. I'm going to, I think it's important. And this is where it's really important to know yourself. This journey, like I can say a million times, it's about surrender, but really it's a journey of self-discovery, of self-actualization, understanding all of these nuances that I did without knowing, right? And then sort of waking up to that. And I know, this is what I know for certain. When we are afraid to feel the bad or the uncomfortable, you also are limiting yourself in feeling the joy and the highs in life that you can't. It's like I've said many times before, I was so afraid to go so low, so I was never able to soar so high. But that's true with everything. It's like you close the door to an emotion or to a person or to a circumstance, you're also closing the door on its opportunity to expand you and to allow you to soar. And so it's something to think about. We don't need to say yes to everything because I think there's still discernment and nuance and everything. But yeah, that's what I will say. And it's knowing yourself. It's a journey to really knowing yourself and allowing yourself to change and seeing when things show up, judgments, etc., not making it wrong. That was a huge one. I mean, it's still a huge one. Our minds are so entrained to blame, self-blame, self-punish when we have any sort of thought that's negative or bad, because we're just so entrained to think that, oh, that's bad, right? Everything is about extremes. That's bad, that's wrong, I can't have that. It's like, no, it's an all-encompassing universe. So anytime you are forcing or trying to get rid of, you're actually bringing your awareness and attention to it, so you're making it bigger. That's just the way it is. It's a both and. So you might as well either let yourself feel it or witness it, and then it will pass. Okay? So I've just rambled on and on. Now I'm going to end this and say happy Sunday, everyone. Take care.